podcast. Today, I have two phenomenal creators. Me and Lee, we've known each other through threads for what, 3 years now, I want to say?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And so, since Lee has always shown me support, I was like, why not bring Lee on the podcast? I don't know if you asked me or if I asked you, but somehow it was just like, yeah, we gotta have Lee on. And then Lee was like, yeah, like I'll bring my artist and they can discuss it with me. And it was like, okay, perfect. This just works out. And then I decided to do something stupid, like get another job and push the time back. So ruin their whole schedule.
Nah.
I'll live.
How are
Clearly,
y'all
I'm
doing?
overstimulated already.
That looks like understimulated to me. I expected more, honestly.
I mean, there's more walls.
Shiro, Lee, how are you doing today?
Pretty good.
Doing great. In a great
Awesome.
mood, feeling great, hydrated, in my lane.
Love it. Well, before we jump into talking about you two as creators and jumping into your story, what we like to do on the Divergent Comics podcast is start out with Would You Rather. So I kind of gave you a little bit of a discussion about it before we started recording, but for people who have been following for the last 4 months now, or 2 months, would you rather? I have 3 questions where I pose to you 3 would you rather questions, and we just let you discuss it for a few minutes. So, first, would you rather? And then what we'll do, we'll let you respond firstly, and then Shiro will let you respond after. All right. Would you rather be a sorcerer like Doctor Strange or a magician like Zatanna?
I feel like I like the occult aspect of Doctor Strange, so probably a sorcerer like Doctor Strange.
I like it. Shiro?
Sorcerer, big Doctor Strange fan, actually.
No Zatanna love. You know, I'm actually disappointed. It's okay. All right.
First question, and he's already disappointed. It's only going to go downhill from there.
Would you rather have universal respect or universal power? Lee, will let you start.
I guess respect? No, I don't. Ooh, this is tough. I guess power because, but then you've got the great responsibility, right? So I guess as long as I can be
responsibility, yeah.
As long as I can be responsible, which I hope I can, probably the power, because I guess you don't really need respect, but with power you could, make people's lives better. I guess that's where my mind goes.
That is a very altruistic way to look at it.
You can't respect people's situations into a better place, but you could use power to get people's situations in a better place.
It's true.
That's not true though. Shiro, I guess you could use respect. Go ahead, Shiro.
Kind of.
Oh man, I would like respect. I get none.
that is so unfortunately true.
That is disappointing because
power corrupts. I'm already corrupted enough. I would just like some respect. I never get any respect. No respect at all.
That is hilarious. No, I get it. Because, like, I see what you're saying, Lee. Because to some degree, like, respect can only go so far.
Right.
Like, yeah, I can respect you. Like, if you have enough respect, yeah, you can walk into a bank and people like, I respect this person. I'll be a little bit lenient. But if you have like great power, you can walk into a bank and be like, I can shut down someone's mortgage and make their life a little bit better or something. I don't know. So
just having money.
If I had unlimited power, I would get Shiro respect. That would be the first thing I did.
Yeah, because as far as I know, Lee doesn't get death threats. I get death threats. Like,
yikes.
I can give death threats to this beautiful face.
Let's stop that now. Like, no death threats to Shiro. Like, it's not allowed.
Please.
All right. So, final question. Would you rather be a vigilante or a cosmic superhero?
Ooh, okay. So is cosmic superhero like Green Lantern, like where you're like a cop, or is it like more like you're just like power cosmic kind of cosmic?
More like power cosmic, yeah.
The vigilante's so much cooler, isn't it? Like, isn't it cooler to be like a Batman than a Superman? If I can start a fight on the podcast right now, I feel like I like ground level stuff, so I think I would like vigilante. I think I like vigilante, and there's the aspect of danger kind of is fun too. So
it does, yes. Shiro, what do you say?
Oh, cosmic power, right away. I do not have the body type for vigilante, and I do not have the budget for vigilante. Like Lee just said, Batman. I do not have Batman money.
There's
I
Daredevil.
have Punisher money.
That's true.
I don't even have Spider-Man money.
Daredevil.
Dude, cosmic power is cheaper.
Daredevil's a lawyer though, so he's bringing it in.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a lawyer, but he's more pro bono than.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, that is hilarious. I love it. So let's talk about this team. What makes you two work really well? Like, what makes your collaboration work?
oh, we're both dorks. We're both huge dorks, and we dork about the same things.
Yeah, we are definitely cut from the same dorky cloth. Like when we first met, big click was we both like classic like EC horror comics like Eerie and stuff like that. So we clicked on that and started showing each other we started showing each other all of our collection stuff. And so from there it's like, well, I love this. Do you love this? Like for example, one thing that I grew up loving as a kid was Asterix. And that's that's not really a thing that a lot of American kids know, but it's a very. Well, Shira, do you want to explain Asterix to what it's a very popular French cartoon, right? So
yeah,
but
a very popular series of comic books. I'll just grab one out of my collection.
Yeah, but so like we found more and more like niche stuff that we really liked, and so this guy, you might recognize this character. So anyway, so we just kind of snowballed. We love all the same stuff, and so that's what made like this partnership for this comic really good. Was because I was just like, "Hey, Shiro, what do you want to draw?" And that's how we started doing Karybdis. Was like it was like we want to have a passion project where you get to do all the stuff we don't do in other books, and
it's
it
like
just happens.
Book is holding by a thread.
It is a vintage, it's a vintage cartoon or comic. But yeah, so I mean, that's what makes it work.
I think this book is from the 60s.
But and also Shiro keeps me honest too. Like whenever I start to fall into self-doubt or things like that, Shiro's always there with the spray bottle to make me stop questioning our project or stop self-doubting. So we do build each other up a lot.
If we lived in the same town, I would do it. Literally, I would just go to his place and just spray him in the face, and then take him out for a sandwich.
Sometimes, like I've interviewed a few like writer artist duos, and that's usually what happens. Like one person has to be like, you know what, I'm going to help lift you up when you're down. The other person's like, hey, I'm going to hold you on my shoulder while you're down, and like it works. It's very much like a marriage, and I think that's what makes the art form of making comics such a unique one, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, Lee, question for you. What has been the best part of writing your Barbarian Queen Karybdis story?
I think it's that it really is us just writing whatever we want, because we have like the whole thing is plotted out, literally like arc 1, a crossover, and then arc 2. We know exactly what happens, but there's so much flexibility in there that we can literally like, I'll just be like, I got a good idea for a little gag. And since we do the side quests, it's really easy to just be like, to tell a joke and to do a thing without having to, slow down the main narrative. I think that's my favorite thing, is that we can swing so wild from like action and adventure and really heartfelt moments to just the goofiest stuff. And it all just fits because the way that we have the narrative fits. The world lends itself to both high adventure, action, and drama, and Slink gets high by accidentally eating a little mushroom man. So like both of those things can happen. So I think that's the flexibility is the best part, because we can really do whatever we want. Like, I mean, it's completely creator owned. Shiro and I run all the ideas by each other. If Shiro has an idea or if I have an idea.
Co-creators, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's know how to draw.
Exactly. And I happen to not know how to draw. But it literally is. It's 50-50. The idea came from me like just going to Shiro and with like a wisp, and then the two of us made what is the comic now, with the assistance of obviously some other folks' input as well, because we wanted to make sure that we did everything that we're doing correctly.
I love it. Shiro, for you, what's been the best part of drawing this story?
The fact that I can draw whatever I want.
That sounds fun.
And I'm not usually asked to draw the kind of style that I use for Karybdis. Yeah, I'm usually asked to draw super cute stuff. Mario, a lot of Princess Peach. I've had it up to here with Princess Peach right now.
I could imagine.
And the style I use for Karybdis is very gritty, a lot of ink digitally, but still a lot of ink, like in the style of classic Marvel, Conan, EC Comics, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I am having the time of my life because I love drawing fight scenes, and there's a lot of them. And I do like to draw horror. I'm never asked to draw horror. I like to draw horror, and there's a lot of blood.
No, I love that. And I didn't even... So I read issue 1. I didn't get a clear picture because I was trying to figure out, like, what does like this kind of correlate to? Like, I try to find some type of connection. And it wasn't until you actually said it, Shiro, but Conan is definitely like that through line where it's like, I can see it, like it makes sense. And that's perfect, honestly, because it kind of fits with really the themes and base of this story.
Yeah, we decided very early on that's what we wanted. We wanted to do something like that lent itself to those things that made us click initially. That kind of both like the early horror stuff, like the EC stuff, but also that late 80s, early 90s Eastman Laird kind of Mirage Comics, black and white. Like, it's all very intentional, the way that we've done the art. Like, we very much were going for that nostalgic aesthetic. And it doesn't hurt that it's kind of a manga adjacent with the popularity of manga now as well.
That's perfect. Love it. All right. So we have now made it to our third segment, which is top 3.
Oh boy.
This is going to be fun. I'm excited. So we'll start with you, Shiro, and then we'll go to Lee.
Okay.
I want to know your top 3 favorite animated movies.
Animated movies.
No.
Probably the worst question I could ask an animator, right?
Well, right away. The Last Unicorn.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
The 12 Tasks of Asterix. Very funny.
So good.
And then, what else do I like?
It's always tough coming up with 3. Like, you can easily come up with 5, but 3 is tough, and that's what makes it fun.
I'm trying to think of a movie because I have so many cartoons I like.
I definitely understand that.
What do I have in my collection?
I'm like side-eyeing my media shelf right now. Like this, all of my movies are here. I'm like, oh, quick, let's look and see.
Yeah, and me, all my movies are in the other room.
Chose the wrong room to record today.
Well, I'm going to have to go with another Asterix and say Asterix and Cleopatra.
That's a good one too. A lot of these are available online as well.
Yeah, you're increasing my watch list. Just FYI, because I had not watched any of those, and they're gonna have to go on the list now. So,
okay, there's a big jump in quality in between The Last Unicorn and the Asterix movies I just mentioned there. Fair warning.
I can live with that. All right, Lee.
What's your top 3? So I think I definitely have to say Sword in the Stone is one of my favorite animated films of all time.
That is a really good one.
Man, this is tough. Second, maybe Disney's Aladdin. Even though I'm doing 2 Disneys, I'm a huge Robin Williams fan. You know what? Fern Gully, I think, is the better deep cut, though. The better Robin Williams deep cut. Plus, you get Tim Curry. Plus, you get Tim Curry, too. So I think we're going to say Sword in the Stone, Fern Gully, and I got to wrap it out with a Don Bluth. I guess, can you really go wrong with American Tailman or Land Before Time? Both of those are so good.
Phenomenal. It's funny, we actually had a conversation about that at my job like 2 days ago.
Yeah. I think I want to lock in Land Before Time. So Sword in the Stone, Fern Gully, Land Before Time. Those are 3 absolute bangers.
That is funny. I love it. I was like this close to making it a top 3 favorite Disney movies, but I was like, everyone does that. So I wanted to open it up and be a little bit more wide, and I'm glad because I got like 3 new movies to put on my watch list. But yeah, great list. I love it. All right. So today we're talking about your story, Barbarian Queen Karybdis. So,
thanks for pronouncing it right on the first go. I appreciate that.
Right?
of course. So
People have
let's
been struggling.
really.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we have to start with that. Like, why are people having a hard time just like, I don't know, saying the word Charybdis?
Well, okay, so it's a running gag, apparently, that I create characters who have, well, so this isn't all my fault because Shiro actually named Charybdis, but
Yes, I
Okay.
did.
the characters I'm involved with always have difficult to say names because my other mainline comic, Sasone, which that's not even the correct way to pronounce that, but that's how we're pronouncing it because we're
Yeah.
American heathen. Supposed to be like, give it a shot, Shiro, the correct pronunciation since it's French.
Son, I think it is.
Okay, so
I
that, but
think.
that's not what we say. We're in America.
Yeah.
So anyway, so the running gag in Sasone is that people can't pronounce Sasone's name.
Mm.
So now we have Charybdis, which we've gotten all kinds of different pronunciations. I think part of it might be like the typography in the logo, even though it is definitely a D, some people read that as an O. So we've gotten a
The
lot of
Caraboys,
Carabois.
people are like,
Yeah, Carabois, Carabois. And so but like we thought it was like a no-brainer because I love mythology and obviously Shiro does as well. So Scylla and Charybdis and like
That's what I
that's
thought.
right. So and I better not hear anybody get it wrong now that the Odyssey is such a big deal.
Exactly.
But yeah, so the name has been kind of a problem getting it pronounced. But people, the more we're out, the more people get it.
I
But
have
yeah,
issues with my own name. This is my artist name, okay?
Okay.
And my real name is Sharon, but where I live, everybody got a problem with that, and some people even resort to calling me Shirley, and I'm like, no.
Don't feel
So
bad.
Shiro.
Like, my name is super simple. Like Gary from SpongeBob. Most people can get that right. Somehow I still end up being called Jerry. So I get it. So I love it. A very nice side quest. Hint, hint. But let's talk about what is this story, Barbarian Queen Karybdis, actually about?
I wanted to do something that was an homage to all of those late 80s, early 90s comics. I wanted to do something that had an epic feel to it. And initially we were going to do like almost sort of like a something like Primal, where it's like the whole thing is mute, there's not a lot of talking and everything. But then we came up with a goofy lizard character and there was no way he was not going to speak. So the whole idea is sort of the whole hero's journey. And it's also, I describe it as a buddy cop fantasy because it kind of is like buddy cop because Charybdis and Slink have a lot of that kind of Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker energy.
They very much do.
Yeah.
I actually
So
love that aspect of their
and
connection.
it's fun, but they also have a very strong like familial bond because as the story unfolds, you learn more and more about how they've known each other their entire lives. So they're best friends. There's almost like a mother-son dynamic because Charybdis kind of takes a motherly role, and the whole story of Barbarian Queen Charybdis is she's going to rescue her daughter from this big bad, the Necromage, who's like our Skeletor character. But that's really kind of what it is. But we present it in a way that's easily digestible. It's episodic. It feels like a Saturday morning cartoon. And that's one thing I really wanted to do because, like, we live in this TikTok generation where people are like, I got 5 minutes. And we're like, okay, cool. You got 5 minutes. Let me tell you a story. And so that's the whole idea. Like, the whole book is just segments of story where you can, like, easily accessible save points, like a video game, so you can sit down, read 6 pages, go do what you have to do, come back to the next 6 pages, like the next episode, go take a commercial break, stuff like that.
Mhm.
But within that, we have this huge narrative that we're telling, but we tell it in such a way that it's easily digestible. So that's kind of what it is.
It is very much easily digestible. Like I said, I read the first issue, and it was so easy to get through because like each page, and Lee, you know this, like each page has to end with something that makes you want to turn that page.
Mm-hmm.
And so the way each page was structured with Shiro, phenomenal way that you like designed the layout and all that. I loved it. It was so easy to go through. And I read it on my phone. I never like reading like comics on my phone like that because it just doesn't feel the same. So reading it on my phone and going through the pages and seeing each panel laid out the way it was, and the pacing just kind of like sucks you in. And so that episodic feel of it and the episodic nature that it has just works so well for the story, and because of the humor, it just makes it easier to be like, okay, well, I got to see what's next. So with this is issue 2 that you two are promoting.
Correct.
Is there anything going on in issue 2 that you look at and are like, this is something that's really just setting up for a future story? Or is it just like, is issue 2 mostly just everything self-contained?
So it is like there's the main narrative continues, like that's the through line the story that Shiro does. It never stops going. It's always forward motion. Could you pick it up and start there? Yeah, because in the second issue, Slink kind of pseudo tells what was happening in the last issue, but it's obviously, everything builds on everything else. But the whole idea with the side quests is that you can read one of those side quests and you know who those characters are. And that's one of my favorite things about the side quests is like, I could hand someone just all of our side quests and leave the main narrative out, and it would feel like a Sunday comic kind of situation. Because I don't know if you remember those Prince Valiant comics that used to be in like the Sunday comics, where it would just be like a little snippet of the story. But like that's the whole idea is like we want to give you something where like the characters are so identifiable. It's so easy to tell what the dynamic is here. But you could just start with issue 2, but why would you? Because issue 1's pretty awesome. So yeah, the side quests are always self-contained, and even to the extent that the continuity is very kind of like not. It is very floaty. We kind of leave it to the readers to decide where those side quests take place in the story. So, like for example, one of our continuity things is my friend Chris Dyer. When he first drew Karybdis, he gave her a scar, like right here. And the character sheets did not have that. And so now sometimes when people do Karybdis, she has a scar. And instead of correcting people, we just leave it. So when Shiro is doing the story now, Karybdis does not have that scar. But our plan is, within continuity of telling the story, because Chris did that, we're going to give her a scar. So like it's sort of like Conan, where like the continuity and the timeline's a little floaty and wibbly wobbly, but we're going to put things in there so that you're like, oh, she has the scar. So this side quest takes place after this point in time, but she doesn't have the scar in this side quest, so it must take place in this point of time. So the whole idea is just like treat our readers like they're smart, like you figure it out where stuff goes. It actually seems like we're treating readers like we're lazy, but both. It can be both.
It can be both.
It's up to their interpretation.
Yeah, we're leaving a lot to interpretation. Like the name of our world is Maelstrom, and that's part of like that's everything's with intent. Maelstrom because it's all kind of happening and it's kind of floaty and different. So that's the whole plan. I don't think we're ever really planning to show a map of Maelstrom, just so that we always
the story, but
you don't see it. So that's kind of the whole idea, is to be able to give ourselves maximum flexibility. Shiro and I described the storytelling like kids playing with toys in a toy box. And so that's literally how we tell the story, like just banging action figures together. And whenever we invite someone to come over to tell a story, we hand them an action figure and we go, okay, you play with this one. And that's exactly how it happens. We get pitches from people and Shiro and I go, hey, do you like this? And if we do, that becomes a side quest. So, we invite other kids to come play at our toy box and stuff. That's awesome.
That's pretty much how we write, because Lee he cleans up what we talk about. We just talk to each other like, oh my god, what if Karybdis did this? And I'm like, yes, but what if she also did this? And Lee's like, yes. I pretty much say yes to almost everything. I said no to one thing so far, and I don't plan to say no to anything else. I want people to have fun. And when Lee says he invites people, it's more like people are knocking at the door. Can we come in and play? That's pretty much what's happening right now.
It is true. Yeah, we had to actually, we've so many people that we've shown the story to, like artists and creators, are like, oh, dude, can we do a story? And we're like, yes, absolutely. In the next one, we actually had to expand this issue. It was only going to be 28 pages, and now it's 32, because my friend John, who's doing one of the stories, is an incredible artist. And the good and the bad of working with John is, well, it's all good because it's always incredible. But I'll be like, okay, this story is 4 pages long, and he'll go, okay, awesome. And I'll get a message a couple days later. He goes, okay, so what if the story was 6 pages long? So
I
like that's
relate.
so I mean, and it's hard to say no because I know that everything he does is going to be awesome. He's the one that did this Mushroom Man story that we did, and it was
Okay.
only I think it was only like four. It might have only been 3 pages, and but he kept showing me stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh! Like I said, okay, I'm going to rewrite the dialogue because everything you're showing me is so good, like the mannerisms and the facial expressions and stuff. But yeah, we do kind of have people knocking down the door to tell side quests and come, tell new stories. And the cool thing is, we're building continuity together. Like Rob Coughlin, who was the first person to go, "Hey, can I please tell a story with you guys?" He became a member of the team because he was doing so much fan art. And I said, "Dude,
Mm.
do you want to do a story?" He said, "Well, I do kind of have an idea." And then he pitched it, and we loved it, and we stuck that in our Halloween issue, and now it's in the director's cut. So now he's part of like a fully part of the team. He and I are working on a spinoff together. I mean, like
Awesome.
it's awesome. It's so cool to tell a story with all your friends.
Hmm.
Like I mean, we know the major beats, but to be able to do those side quests and just have, Rob be like, okay, well, the marshes of whatever and making up locations, and we're like, yeah, sure, why not? We didn't draw a map, So
That is awesome. I love that. So, if someone wanted to, I guess, tell a side quest,
mhm.
what would be their best way of maybe pitching an idea or getting in contact with you?
I mean, like, I'm readily available on social media. So, I mean, I'm on threads and stuff like that. Just kind of, a really good way would be to back our comic and say that you had issues 1 and 2 and you really enjoyed them. But I'm joking, but, just, yeah, marketing.
Wouldn't be joking. I'm not joking. Support the comic if you want more comic, and if you want to be the next comic, support the comic.
Can't go wrong if you back it.
Yeah, exactly. I just, I mean, people being excited makes me excited. So if you read our stories and you liked them and you're excited enough that you want to tell a story about it, yeah, like, I mean, like we have certain bumpers set up. Like we have parameters that we don't go outside of. And so as long as it seems like you understand the characters, then I'm always open to someone collaborating with us, to try and world build together. Um, yeah, I mean, there's only really a couple major rules that we have, like things about, being respectful of the characters, and we don't really do like overtly sexual stuff and things like that. And it's not to knock yuck anybody's yum or anything. That's a market and that's stuff that people do. We just kind of try and keep it in that like no further than a Vertigo comic,
Hmm.
90s Vertigo. We try to not go any further than that. In the adult situations, in the violent situations, it's like 80s anime though. It's like blood spewing and everything.
Ninja Scroll level.
Oh, excellent. Why didn't I say Ninja Scroll is one of my favorite animated movies? I wasn't even thinking animes. But yeah,
Yes,
so I
it's
It's
mean,
an
also
as
outlet.
very sexual.
yeah, it is overtly sexual. But yeah, I mean, like if someone were interested in writing with us, that's awesome. Like, I mean, I'm always open to hearing ideas. Like, we're protective of the intellectual property as far as the characters go, but as far as like listening to people's ideas, I mean, nothing.
Are
We're not
super
precious
open.
about that. Yeah, we're super open to that. Like, I want to hear people have awesome ideas because that's what makes cool stories is collaboration. That's what made this story is collaboration. What do you like? What do I like? What do we want to draw? So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's a weird way to be writing stories. I don't know, but like, it's been so fun. I don't want to stop. Like, we just keep bringing on people to help us build the world and draw like new characters and give us input on stuff. And it's amazing. It's incredible. It, it's like an ownership that goes
Hmm.
beyond just Shiro and I. And I think that's
Mm.
why people like doing the side quests with us because it gives them a sense of ownership, like, oh
True.
well,
Yeah.
Rob's like, I built that part of the world, and he did. I mean, it's awesome. So yeah, just hit us up on Threads or something.
I love it. So, since you already kind of brought up the Kickstarter, talk about let's talk about it. Tell the people about the goal for the Kickstarter. Tell them about a couple of the rewards. As of the time of this recording, we are recording on a Saturday night, and this is what, August 8th. So there's 10 days left to back the Kickstarter. So yeah, tell the people a little bit about your goal, financial goal, and
Wait, sorry. I
you're
got
okay.
the Kickstarter page open, and It just updated to 27 backers.
Perfect.
See, my marketing works.
Nice. What are we at right now?
Let me check in USD. Around 1,790 from the 2,500 gold.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're shooting for 2,500. That's awesome. That is a good segue. That's one into one of the things we're doing. One thing I really try and do is, like, I call it the no grift guarantee. We're just trying to tell you a story. So we have a base version of the comic. We have a couple covers, but we're not trying to sell you like 1,000 covers. We're not trying to make you give us every single dollar you have, because I just want you to pay enough dollars that you get to read the book. And I don't want to sell you a book that feels so expensive that you don't want to open it. So we have a couple variant covers. You have a really cool Masters of the Universe cover. John is working on a mystery cover that is sort of Frazetta inspired, because he loves to do very kind of detailed drawings and stuff like that, and he loves like Frazetta, and that's obviously lends itself well to our barbarian aesthetic. And then we have, for my amazing Akira cover collecting family, we have our Akira homage cover, which is our base level cover, and that's also going to have a foil version. But so one thing that we're doing too is we're counting backers, because we have a puzzle that we're doing, and once every backer we get, we reveal a piece of the puzzle. And once the puzzle is completely revealed, which will be 50 backers, all of the physical backers will get a print that Chris Dyer did, a special print that he did just for this, and also no take backsies. So if we get 50 and someone drops and we got 49, everybody still gets it. I'm on the hook for it.
Everybody that does a physical pledge will get the print.
But yeah, like, there's not an incredible amount of like high dollar rewards. A lot of what we're doing is stuff like sketch cards that Shiro has done. John's volunteered to do some sketch cards, which are super cool. I love original art, so that's really fun. We have some prints over our last couple years. We've done a lot of little promotional prints and stuff. So we have like a Halloween set where Slink and Karybdis are Ghostbusters. Well, Slink is a Ghostbuster, and Karybdis is Gozer.
That was fun.
And then
was fun to draw.
We have a Fright Night homage. A lot of homages. There's a Lost Boys homage that we did, and just like we have like print sets. There's a really beautiful watercolor print that Shiro did of Slink fishing. So there's a lot of like little add-on things if you want them, but I really don't want people to feel FOMO. I want people to just be like, ooh, cool book, I want to buy it. And then, if you want to get some extras, you can, and we try to bundle everything in a way that doesn't feel predatory or anything like that. So we're really just out to tell the story. And I mean, as far as like, I know one of the big things with Kickstarter is you want to try and just squeeze every single dime you can out of people, but I just want to tell the story. And so I try and keep things really ground level, so that it's not it doesn't feel like you're going to miss out, I mean, like I always tell people, the covers are limited edition, and they're limited because we are poor. So I'm an honest man. We print what we can. Money. We don't have Spider-Man money. Yeah. So we print what we can, and if there's a huge demand for a cover to come back, then we will reprint it. Like, that's what's happened with the Akira group that I mentioned before. A lot of them missed out on. Shiro did a beautiful Akira cover for Sasone, and we did a foil version of it. And so these guys have been. That was like 4 years ago, and I still get messages in my inbox asking for that cover. So because of that, I went to the group of those folks and I said, hey, we are thinking about doing this. We're doing an Akira cover just for this group because we know you guys love them. And would you be interested if we reprinted the Stone cover? And they said, heck yeah. So I put together a bundle that's literally called the Full Akira. And it's all of everything we did that's Akira, it's in that bundle. So we tried to make it very accessible. And so, because I know that's what those folks are there for. They can just be like, okay, one click, here's all my Akira stuff. I know I got it all, So it's we've got a lot of stuff like going on, but it's nothing exceptionally expensive. Nothing is going to break the bank. We just want you to read the story, have a good time, and hopefully come back for another.
I love it. That sounds awesome. This has been awesome. It's great talking to you two about this story, about this Kickstarter. And yeah, I'm really hoping that, by the time this episode comes out, people are able to catch it and you're able to get some more backers so you can end goal. Before we end up, I want to ask one more question though. How far do you see Barbarian Queen Karybdis going? Like, how many stories do you plan on telling with this?
Well, I mean, it's I'm not trying to monopolize the conversation. Yeah, I'm not trying. If it were up to Shiro, we would tell it forever and ever because it is so much fun to write and so much fun to draw. We have a very definitive beginning arc, and then we have kind of a tie-in, and then we have a very definitive closing arc. So once it's done, it's pretty much done. But the beauty of the side quests is you can tell stories anywhere in that continuity that happens. So even if we do our 3 seasons in a movie or whatever that people say,
Yeah.
to wrap up, we could go back and tell stories. We're already planning a spin-off Maelstrom book that has stories that take place with other characters because the world's so rich, and because we let people come and kind of pitch different characters to us and stuff, like we could continue to tell stories in this world for as long as we wanted to. And Kay and Slink and the surrounding characters are all very rich characters. But again, like we are trying to tell a story in a very concise way as well. So we don't want to waste anybody's time. Like that's why all the stories are like kind of really intentionally paced. It's, all killer, no filler is what we always say. So that's what we try to do. But there's obviously room to like opine and tell other stories and do other things. But we have a very clear plan. Like I don't think I've ever started a book with such a clear plan of where everything was going to go. But we started with like a wish list, like a bullet point, like what would we want in an ideal fantasy story? And so we just kind of took that list. Yeah, exactly. We took that list and we turned that list into a series of events throughout the story. And so that's kind of what we've done. So I can't give you an issue count because the pacing as far as like how much we tell in each issue kind of vary. But I mean, we could easily get 10 issues plus out of this first arc if people will join us for those stories. And then we planned a one-shot tie-in and then a much shorter second arc just to kind of wrap everything up. So, hopefully, maybe 20 issues in a one-shot. That would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. I kind of hope that Shiro gets their way and just goes on in perpetuity.
Yeah, I mean that would be cool too.
I want at my drawing table.
Yeah, just in the hospital bed, just drawing the last page.
If we end up with angry people giving us like a Firefly situation where they're like, "I wish there was more. Why isn't there more?" So like that's always kind of like Firefly's one of my favorite shows. So that's always kind of like my example is I want people to get to finish our story and be like visibly angry there's not more. So I really want to give people enough that even in the issues that we've done, we give you the story and then we breadcrumb a little bit so that you're just hungry for that next issue. So that's, like you said, that's kind of what we try and do.
Yeah, I am definitely anticipating issue 2. Like, I can't wait. So I'm excited.
Yay. Because we had fun creating it. I am having the time of my life drawing it, and I am hoping that this shows in the final product and that people are also having fun reading it.
If my word means anything, I definitely had fun reading it, and I think anyone who likes any type of high fantasy type of storytelling would love this book and would love this series. So great job, Lee. Great job, Shiro, for creating something that definitely feeds into just a highly entertaining story.
Yeah.
So wrapping up, again, this was fun. I've enjoyed having both of you on. And as I've told everyone who's come on before, there is a standing invitation for you two to come on. So anytime you have another story you want to do a promo for or anything, you let me know.
Awesome.
And you will get put on the show. So
thank you so much.
Yeah, not a problem.
Very appreciated.
Let's wrap up. Tell the people where they can find you, follow you, and get more of your work. Shiro will let you start, and then Lee will let you in.
All right, so the easiest way is to go on my Linktree. Linktree/SoVeryUnofficial. I'm on pretty much almost every social media. Always So Very Unofficial. That's it.
Everywhere.
I am very easy to reach because everybody goes to Lee for the comic. Nobody talks to me. When people talk about the comic, they're like, Lee Newman's Karybdis. And I'm like, I'm here too, you know? I'm not just a doodle monkey.
Yeah, stop going to Shiro for the hate and go to Shiro for the art.
Please. A little respect.
Just Lee, where can people find you, follow you, get more?
All right. So if anyone wants to find me, you can find me at Linktree. So very unofficial. Don't come to me. Just got to share. No, I'm just kidding. So I am Raven Writing Desk, no G, Writing Desk. On pretty much all the things. I am on Linktree. I am on Threads fairly regularly. That's probably the easiest way to find me, the place I'm most active. I am on the other places like Instagram and things like that, but like I'm a writer, so my life in pictures is not very interesting. It's usually just like pictures of my dogs or whatever we're doing with Karybdis. So Threads is probably the easiest place to find me, and I am Raven Writing Desk on there. And other than that, like, hopefully the shelf of your local comic shop.
Soon. Love it. Lee, Shiro, thank you again for coming on here. This has been fun. Everyone go follow them on all socials. Links will be below. So click on it and give them a follow. Again, this has been the Divergent Comics Podcast. I'm Gary. Why don't you all go read Barbarian Queen Karybdis?
Issue 1.